You see, about 100 years ago, the British Empire came to this country with their missionaries, and they told the people that Jesus should be believed in as God. I want to tell everyone today that that was the wrong thing for them to say. Because we know the messengers and the prophets, Moses, Abraham, and Noah, they believed in one God. Moses, Abraham, all of those prophets, they never knew Jesus as God. Ask Abraham what religion he was. If Abraham was here and we asked Prophet Abraham, what religion were you? Think about that. If Abraham was here today, the prophet in Genesis in the Bible, and we asked Abraham, what religion are you? Do you think Abraham would turn around and say that I was a Christian? That's impossible, since Christ was not there. He cannot follow Christ when Christ was not alive on the earth. It's impossible. It's logically and historically impossible to think that Abraham was a Christian. He was not a Christian. Abraham believed in one God. Yes, he believed in one God. He did not believe the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I urge every Christian to go to the Old Testament. Find me one verse in the Old Testament where the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are God. It's not there. It's a Roman invention, ladies and gentlemen. The white man has deceived you. That's the truth. The white man has deceived every single one of you, the Christians. Because Jesus himself never said he was God. Find me a verse. Jesus never said he was God. He said, by my own self I can do nothing. That's what Jesus said. Jesus said in John chapter 14, verse 28, the Father is greater than I. Does this sound like the words of a God? Absolutely not. No way. Jesus himself, he prayed. Jesus could not be God. Jesus was thirsty. Jesus was hungry. Jesus could not be a God, because the Old Testament tells us that God cannot be a man. The Old Testament tells us in the book of Malachi, chapter number 3, verse number 6, that God does not change. Wait a minute, what did you say? I'll tell you one more time. The Old Testament says God does not change. So if God does not change, then he could not have become a Trinity. God has always been one. The same God of the Old Testament is the same God of the New Testament. The same God of Abraham is the same God of Moses, is the same God of Jesus. Yes, this is what you must know. That when the colonizer came over to the Golden Coast 100 years ago, yes, they tried to take your minerals. They tried to take your gold. And they try to tell you now to be Christian. Do you know what's happening in my country now? I live in the UK. Yes. They are becoming atheists. Did you know that? They are becoming atheists, ladies and gentlemen. The same people that came to you, the same people that came to you 100 years ago, the English, the British, the colonizer, the imperial power that came to the Gold Coast, those guys are now leaving Christianity. They told you to believe in something that now the grandchildren are leaving. Because you know why they're leaving? Because they can't make sense of the Trinity. They're saying the Trinity does not make sense. They say the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit is God. Yet there's one God. They're saying, no, now we have reached the level where we don't believe in these things. The English and the American white man who came over to spread, obviously at that time it was Britain, they spread Christianity and took your minerals, they took your gold. But when they came to do that, when they came to take your minerals and your gold and to force you to believe in a religion that you did not believe in, now they are leaving that religion. The white British man who came to this country 100 years ago forced your grandfathers to become Christian is now becoming an atheist in England. Look at the census data. They're leaving their religion. They are leaving Christianity. Why are they leaving Christianity? Because it does not make sense to them. The Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God. How can that be? And they say there is one God. If you ask a 6-year-old, bring that child, bring that 5-year-old child and ask him, the Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God, then ask him how many gods are there. And if they say there's one, then maybe they do need more education. Any child here in this country will tell you that Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Father is God, Son is God, Holy Spirit is God, is 3 gods. No one will tell you that's one. How can it be 1 and 3 and 3 and 1? Think with your logic, human beings. Think with your rationality. Think, God says in the book of Corinthians, you say you believe it's from God, it's from Paul. God is not the author of confusion. He's not the author of confusion. We're all confused about the Trinity. We're all confused. How can the Father be God, and the Son be God, and the Holy Spirit is God, yet there is one God? Think about that. Just think about that. How could God die? If Jesus is God, and Jesus died, how could God die? If Jesus is God, and Jesus died, how could God die? Again, one more time. If Jesus is God, and Jesus died, how could God die? They will say, maybe it was the human side. Because they say, Jesus is 100% man and 100% God. Tell them this is false, this is fake, this is a contradiction. So ladies and gentlemen, today you have heard the message. We have done our job here in Accra. You must be objective and fair with yourself. You must reassess the decision your grandparents took. Because the white man told them to believe the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The white man told them that the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit is God. Today we say that doesn't make sense. It's irrational, it's illogical, it's impossible. We cannot accept it. We believe in one God, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, the God of Jesus, and the God of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's why a new prophet came. He came to purify the corruptions of the people who came before. Because the Roman Empire corrupted the whole theology of Christianity. Yes. So there was required a new prophet. Jesus himself never, ever said or supposed that he was a greater God or the same God or an equal God to the Father. No way. No way. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make a decision today. It's time to make a decision today. You have to think. You have to think. Is it possible that the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit is God? And there is one God? Once you've realized that that's not the case, we urge you to look at Islam. Because Islam tells you to believe in one God, the same God of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.